Well, Phil, welcome to Kidderminster. What are your initial thoughts now you've been in the building and had a look around?
My initial thoughts were born out of the fact that I came here on Tuesday to meet the chairman and Dean Holdsworth, and I'd sometimes in football, I've been involved with many different clubs at different levels, but sometimes in football you get a good feel. Just walking into a ground, walking into a boardroom, walking into a change room, and I got a really good feel on Tuesday. I felt as if I can't say it feels like home by any stretch of the imagination, but it's that same feeling, that same vibe. And good people, met a lot of good people, and it's a challenge, there's no doubt about it. And it's something I'm looking forward to tell you the truth. There's a lot of times you go into a new football club and it's full of fear or intrepidation, and you may look at the league table and think, well, you should be in fear or intrepidation, but it's not the case. I recognise what the challenge is. If I didn't have that feeling about Kidderminster Harriers, I wouldn't have took the challenge up. But I think it's a challenge that hopefully we can start doing the right thing on the field of play, get a little bit more respect from the opposition, and once you've got them two in place, then all of a sudden your footballers start playing football, and hopefully we'll play the kind of football that is going to get the Kidderminster Harriers supporters interested in, more proud of we again, and get us in the right direction where the league's concerned.
You've obviously had to do your homework from a distance as opposed to kind of up close, but what initial assessments have you been able to make in the things that you've heard and things you've seen?
Well, if you look at the league table and you think how far, after 28 games, you've got 20 points on board. And I'm saying it's we now. I've accepted the challenge, and now it's my issue, my problem, my challenge. You look at 4 wins from 28, it suggests that there's something wrong at the football club. But if you look at the defeats and analyse them more in depth, I think there's maybe only on 2 occasions that the club's been beaten by 2 goals or more. So it looks like we've got a group of players here that are basically involved in the game of football. And I always say to a player, stay in the game. Make sure you stay in the game for as long as you possibly can. Kidderminster Harriers have been involved in every game and they've stayed in the game, but they've come the wrong side of a draw by losing, or they've come the wrong side of a win by drawing. And that's where the points tally is the reason why it's only 20 instead of hopefully where it should be come the end of the season. But it looks like the group of players, it looks like they care from the outside looking in. And if you've got a group of players that care, you've got a chance. You've got a chance of hopefully turning a corner. Confidence is going to be key. Confidence of change of management. And I'd like to go on record to say that the previous management team of Russ and Jimmy done a fantastic job. And but unfortunately, when you've only got 20 points from 28 games, something's got to give. And invariably, in my record, in my experience, it's the manager that gives, not the players. I'll meet the players today for the first time. I'll watch them tomorrow in the game against Altrincham, and then I'll be in the dugout, shall we say, on Monday with a great challenge coming, a home game against Aldershot, and then an away game against the team that I started my whole career at Hartlepool United. So the challenges are there. I want to see what the team's capable of doing against Altrincham, see what the mentality of the group is, and then work with them for a full week to try and get something, a tune out of them as it were, in the game next Saturday. But it starts now, it starts the whole process of trying to get people's mentality positive, trying to get people's mentality into believing that they're still good players, that they are good players. And if we can do that collectively, then I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and with the amount of league games we have left, is there a degree of, obviously you'll look to tweak things, maybe possibly bring 1 or 2 in down the line, but is there a degree of continuity as well that you need to establish?
I think I've got to look at that for sure. I think the inconsistency of performance and the inconsistency of results has been the alarming key factor, of probably the reason why the previous incumbent has moved on. I've got to look at that. We always talk about consistency levels and what standards we can achieve and what standards we can get to. If we start getting to a standard because there's a new manager in town, If we reach a certain standard that I'm happy with, then I can't complain about results, but I've got to maintain that standard. I've got to make sure that we go into games of football believing or the knowledge that we can beat the opposition. And if we can go and get to that stage, then we'll have half a chance. I think it's important that the week's work on the training ground, that the players have got to understand that my methods will be totally different from the previous management team. There might be a lot of similarities. There might be a lot of things that I'm saying that probably Russ and Jimmy said at the same time, but I'm coming here with a challenge that I want to get my career back on track. I've been involved in football for 40 odd years now, and I think I can say to a certain extent I do know what it takes to win a game of football, and that's what we've got to try and achieve together.
In terms of you and your career, obviously, because of the levels you have managed at and the clubs you've managed at, it could be a lazy assumption from the outside, maybe, that it's difficult to have the hunger for a job, say, with respect to us at the bottom of the National League in Kidderminster, but it's clear from listening to you that hunger's very much there, isn't it?
The hunger's always been there. When it goes, I think somebody will be putting me in a grave, to tell you the truth. I'll be 6 foot under. I think the passion for football from the very first day I kicked the ball to now, it hasn't changed. I don't know what it is about me. I love the game. I absolutely adore watching a game of football. I adore being involved in a game of football. There's nothing better, in my opinion. People say playing, I always say management. I love standing on the touchline and trying to analyse the opposition and trying to find out strengths and weaknesses of the opposition before the game, and then trying to exploit them during the course of the game. All of them things are something that I'm passionate about. I think the whole scenario of being involved in a game for 40 odd years and trying to educate yourself and trying to move forward with the game, because the game has moved on so much in the last 5-10 years, it's quite frightening. People are playing some great football. We don't need to play great football. We just need to play winning football. We need to be horrible at this moment in time. And when we start playing winning football, then the confidence grows, and then the belief to play the beautiful game comes back. And I'm not saying for 1 minute we've got a group of bad players. We've just got a group of players who are unfortunately used to losing. I've got to try and change that mentality as quickly as I possibly can.
I was going to mention style of play. Is it less in this situation about having a defined style of play that you might have as a manager, and more just being adaptable to the situation we're in?
I think it's adaptability for sure. Charles Darwin, wasn't it? It's not the survival of the fittest, survival of the adaptable. And to get to the National League and come and play pretty football in a situation that we're in, if we can play good football, don't get me wrong, that means the opposition are not turning up. But if we have a style of football that wins games of football, then that's all I'm interested in. I think the Kidderminster Harriers fans, to a man, to a woman, to a child, will understand that it's needs must at this moment in time. Forget about what's going on off the field of play. What's on the field of play is that we've got to have winners. We've got to have people that are going to roll their sleeves up and maybe fight for a little bit more than what they have been fighting for.
And you've mentioned the Aldershot game here next weekend as your first one. Obviously there's an important FA Trophy game tomorrow, but that as a whole, how important will the support from the home fans be? Because the crowds have held up ever so well this season, and that's another key ingredient, isn't it? It's
very important that we put our best foot forward, regardless of whether I'm watching the game or not. That's what you have to do as a footballer every time you cross the white line. I think it's important that Jimmy O'Connor's taken the game. It's important for the respect to him as a coach and as a person, and I think the players will show up tomorrow. There's no doubt about it. Do I want to win the game? I'm involved now with Kidderminster Harriers. Do I want to win the game? Absolutely, 100%. How important in terms of priority? If I'm prioritising survival as a campaign, and a FA Trophy Cup run actually enhances that opportunity, then I'm going to embrace it. Of course I am. I'm here to watch. I'm here to find out what people are all about. I'm here to see not so much entertaining football. I want to see winning football. I want to see what people can do. And then when I start on Monday, what they've showed me on Saturday will obviously play a part in next Saturday's 11 starters. If they give a good account of themselves, they'll be playing against Aldershot. It won't be anything to do with me or Jimmy O'Connor. It'll be themselves. They've brought themselves to the party. They've brought their best foot forward, and then possibly they'll be in the team for next Saturday.